Hey guys, welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com. I'm a blind film critic, and I'm watching Daryl Dixon on AMC Plus, and it does not have audio description. This has been a fun experience for me. If you watched my first review, which over 100 people did, thank you. I basically said this series is unwatchable because it is for blind people, like most Walking Dead things, which are incredibly hard to watch. AMC just doesn't provide audio description for anything. They did have it on Tales of the Walking Dead, and that's it. That's all they have it on. So I was a massive Walking Dead fan for many years. Since the very beginning, I watched the series premiere live, and then basically almost every episode after that live. So I was a huge fan. I didn't stop. Negan didn't scare me away. Kept watching the series all the way through to the end. I've watched most of Fear the Walking Dead up until the point where I was just like, this is not the same show. I tried World Beyond, and I like Dead City because I love Negan and Maggie. I think their dynamic is interesting. And now I'm watching Daryl Dixon because I love Daryl Dixon. And oh boy. So this is episode 2, which starts out with a rave, because that's exactly, as a blind person, that's exactly where I wanted it to start out, you know. Episode 1, we ended up with the idea that the show was going to be about Daryl taking this boy across France with a nun, and delivering him to this port where I guess he would get to a port and he might get on a boat and get back to America. So, of course, we open with a rave, because that's the logical place. And it took me a minute because I was like, is this a flashback? Is this currently happening? Do they have raves currently in France? Really? And again, the fact that a lot of this is in French and not translated, and I don't speak French, makes this really hard to follow. So eventually, of course, as the episode had reached its conclusion, I realized there were flashbacks. However, I really just, in the very beginning, I really legitimately thought Daryl was at a rave, or somebody was at a rave. I really thought we were in the current timeline, and that this show was just going to get bizarre and really interesting. But unfortunately, I think that was in the past. It's kind of what I picked up on. And meanwhile, Daryl's storyline revolves around the fact that he's at this community, and his nun companion, I don't know, she probably has a name, and there's this other place where there's some other kids, and this friend of hers is sick and needs medicine, and she wants Daryl to go get the medicine, and Daryl just really wants to go get the horse. So wants use of a horse. There's a horse, and if he can convince people that she needs the medicine, he can use the horse, and it all becomes about this damn horse, which also was very confusing because there's a moment where the boy likes something, and then she urges Daryl to not kill it because the boy likes it. And I was like, is it the horse that Daryl means? I don't know. It's so hard to follow. I am so lost in this series. But at one point, Daryl finds an American who's like, "Dude, you're an American now. Take me home." You know, let's go. And Daryl's like, "Listen, I've been all over. Home doesn't exist. The people you know, they're not there anymore. I've been all over the East Coast, the Midwest, and Texas. There's nothing there." And I was like, when did Daryl go to Texas? Did that happen? Is that something that we missed between the last show and this one? Pretty certain they started out in Atlanta and went up to Virginia. I don't know when he explored the Midwest in Texas. I'm guessing that was him looking for Rick. But I was like, damn, we have a lot of things that he's accomplished between leaving the original show and this show, because isn't Fear the Walking Dead in Texas? Is he saying that he went down and found Morgan? Is that a reference to Morgan? Anyway, I don't know. I'm very confused now. But this series continues to. I love the guy that walks away and he's like, I have sardines. And I was like, oh, okay. I know you have sardines, and they're high in sodium, and they were probably good. But let's remember that we are now at least a Judith, into the zombie apocalypse. And considering Daryl just with his trip and everything, and Judith was like 14, right, when we left her. She's probably a little bit after that, 16, 17. That can of sardines is pushing 20 years old. We're starting to really lose a grip on apocalypse food here, and how long things can really sit on the shelf. Would I eat a 20-year-old can of sardines? No, I would not. Because it's very likely that person, whoever stored the sardines, bought it before the zombie apocalypse, and it's been there. They didn't buy it. They didn't like see a zombie and go, I need to go grocery shopping. They probably had that can of sardines. It's been there for a hot minute, and depending on how long it's been since Daryl last saw Judith. Yeah, I wouldn't eat that, but hey, this show just is defying all expectations. And these are the kind of things that I have to talk about because I have no idea what the French people are talking about. They probably said some really interesting shit, but I have no idea. And then Daryl ends up winding back, and the old lady's dead, and he's like, the medicine wouldn't have helped. I'm sorry, I just wanted the horse. I was like, the horse you tried to kill? What were you trying to kill? And then... So the nun is like, I'll do it. I'll take care of her. So she goes in and kills her. And basically that's it. I think there are some references to the villains in here, although it's really hard to follow because, again, it's in French. And I don't really fully comprehend or understand everything that's going on. Little Jesus kid wants to know why he's special. You know, he doesn't understand it. He does get to meet other kids, but they're very kind of douchey. This one kid is like, you can't sit there. And somebody else is like, that's where his brother sits, and his brother's away on a mission. All right. Cool. Good to know. I'm glad that we have shaped this world. We were shaping this world. So, I love Daryl, and I'm going to continue watching the show. But I'm going to continue to bitch about it until AMC Plus takes audio description seriously and accessibility for blind and visually impaired users. It sucks to love a franchise that does not love you back. It is really terrible. I have an addiction to The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead is basically telling me to fuck off every week. And that's how I feel. That's why my last video was titled Daryl Dixon. The show makes me feel like a worthless piece of shit, basically. It does. That's what the continued persistence and lack of audio description for this entire universe feels like. When a show goes out of their way to create a character like Connie and try to, prop up and be like, oh, look at how inclusive we are. And then on the other side of it, they don't want people to know how not inclusive they really are. It's, I don't think people know that. So that's why I'm doing these videos. It'd be nice if the Walking Dead universe could embrace audio description, because it's one of the least accessible franchises without it. Anyway, that's it for me today. Obviously, my grade for Daryl Dixon is going to be unwatchable because I don't even know if that was a good recap. So I just gave you what I was able to pick up. So there you go. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I know these recaps are weird, but they serve a purpose, hopefully, in life, to kind of get the word out and let people know that we still watch TV when we're blind. I thought about taking up knitting, and then I was like, I've never wanted to knit before. Why should I knit because I'm blind? I'm just going to keep watching TV. That's what I want to do. I have a film degree, so I'm gonna use it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And just keep chugging along. So I have a website, macthemovieguy.com, and I will review something else for you guys and see you next week with another episode of Daryl Dixon, which will probably be unwatchable, but we'll see. I always keep an open mind. So see you guys on the other side.